We have had a hard time deciding what we're going to do about this video. On May 21st, 2022, we said goodbye to Miles. If you've been following along, we've been slowly making our way up the East Coast to return to New England after 2 years on the road. We started seeing some changes in Miles' behavior. Mostly he was slowing down. And due to his age, we weren't too concerned.
We expected that.
We even joked that we're going to change his name from Miles to Mile and a Half,
because, or a mile.
Yeah, because he, going out for walks, which he loved to do, he was slowing down.
At one of the Harvest Hosts that we recently went to, there was a beautiful dog park. And so we got a couple of beverages, and we were sitting on a picnic table, and we tried to let him go to the dog park. And normally he would pull us to dog parks because he totally loved them.
He could sniff them out.
But this time he wasn't interested. He just wanted to sit by our feet. And he didn't want to have anything to do with this dog park. So
yeah, in hindsight, we noticed after the fact that was a key indicator that something was wrong.
Then the next day, he didn't want his breakfast. He a part of it, and then laid down, took a rest, and we both looked at each other like, this is not good.
Not right. He usually would get up in the morning and let us know that it was time for breakfast.
Yeah.
But this particular morning, he wasn't too interested in eating. But he did eat.
Yeah, he ate very slowly and took a break in between and such, and we knew that we were going to be in a Harvest Host for a couple of days, but then we were going to be in Williamsburg for a couple of weeks.
Right.
So we thought if we could just get to Williamsburg, maybe we could get to see a vet.
Right. Yeah, the thought process there was that if we needed to go to a vet, we'd be in that area for a couple of weeks. That way, if he needed some follow-up visits or some other longer treatment, we'd be in that area for a while.
So when we got to Williamsburg, right away I looked up to see if there was a vet around, because it was a Saturday.
It was a Saturday.
And weren't sure what the availability would be. Saw a couple that were closing at like 2 o'clock, and it was about 11. But I did find a 24-hour vet. The name of it was
Coastal Animal Referral Emergency Care for short.
CARE. And they were open 24/7, and it was a blessing. They were just a couple miles down the street.
Yeah.
So they were able to take them in a couple of hours. So we decided to go ahead. They had excellent reviews too. So we felt like we really lucked out. Let's take them right away.
So we did. Took them in, and of course the whole staff loved Miles. I mean, they were all just loving on him. They took him in right away, did a thorough examination.
Took a few hours.
Yeah. And then they called us into the office, and the vet that treated him was also a golden retriever owner, and she was very emotional, and she showed me that he had fluid building up around his heart and in his belly. When
we put him on the scale, we noticed that he had gained 15 pounds.
Yeah.
He was very distended, and we knew that something wasn't
in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
She basically said the prognosis probably wouldn't be good either way, and that in order to find out what the source of the problem was, it would be pretty invasive, and it would put him through a lot. And given his age, if it was her dog, she said that she would let him go. So
this took us both back, because
I fully expected to be leaving there with some sort of a treatment protocol, but that's not what happened.
I had high hopes of having Miles for 14 years.
Yeah.
He had just turned 11 in April, and this was May. So anyway, we made the difficult decision to go ahead and let him go, and they accommodated us in such a nice way. They had a comfort room where they brought him in and put him on a sleeping bag, and we got to love on him for as long as we wanted.
Yeah.
And we stayed there quite a bit, petting and loving on him. And then they had a button that you press, and when you're ready, you can notify the veterinarian, and then they come in and they give him an injection. And we were with him right till the very end, which was very comforting.
He basically is he was panting constantly, which is another indication that he's under some sort of pain or stress. And he just slowly stopped panting and put his head down on his paws and went to sleep. And it was very comforting for us to be there with him. He probably didn't know what was going on, but
it was tough. But we were able to exit right from that comfort room, so that was nice. Took a few days for us to even be able to process what had taken place, but it's still hard.
It is. I mean,
he was a major part.
Such a major piece of this RV. I mean, you couldn't sit at the dinette without having to wrap your legs around him, because he always slept under the dinette, or he always relaxed under the dinette. So
he loved people. People loved Miles. He pranced when he walked. He
had a way of walking where he held his head up high, and he high stepped a lot. It would stop people in their tracks the way he walked. They'd always ask, "Is he a show dog? Is he a show dog?" And through that, we made so many friends on the road in the last 2 years just because of Miles. He introduced us to so many people.
We'd start conversations about Miles, and then before you know it, they're pulling up a chair and joining us by a campfire, or we would we'd go from one park to another, and somebody would recognize us because they recognized Miles. He's just such a great personality, just a positive energy, and he'll be remembered very, very fondly. Just that dog, that dog.
Never be able to replace him.
No, that dog. It's a sweetheart. So
the rest of this video, the beginning part of this video was the day or the 2 days leading up to us bringing him into the vet. And the last part of this video we're going to dedicate to Miles, and just leave you with a bunch of videos and pictures that we've taken of Miles over the last couple of years.
He'll be missed.
He will. He's definitely a part of our hearts. Next stop is Round Peak Vineyard. So it's a harvest host, and we'll be spending the night there. Very excited. We're parked at a harvest host here, and we're in the sun, so the solar panels are getting power, and we've got the AC running off the batteries, and we'll see how long that's going to last. I don't know how long it'll last, but I've got the temperature set to 76 inside, so Miles should be comfortable while we're in having a few cocktails.
Yes, so we're going to go have some wine at this beautiful vineyard, and then maybe take a ride. So only one. What a great idea. There's a camp out. Live music, a bonfire and s'mores, dinner and continental breakfast. What a great idea. I took a good picture.
Winery has an awesome dog park. It's just, it's all fenced in, it's shaded, it's got a big place to roam, just amazing. Go run, run, run. So we're only 15 minutes away from Mount Airy downtown area where Andy Griffith was born and lived, and so we're going to take a quick ride down there.
It was the inspiration for the Andy Griffith show, so it should be kind of interesting. I think that they probably modeled the show after the downtown, and hopefully they kept the downtown the way that it is.
Yeah.
That show ran for 8 years,
right,
from 1960 to 1968. Okay, let's go.
In the basement of the Andy Griffith Museum is a small exhibit dedicated to Cheng and Eng Bunker. They were Siamese-American conjoined twin brothers whose fame propelled the expression Siamese twins to become synonymous for conjoined twins in general. They were widely exhibited as curiosities and were two of the 19th century's most studied human beings. In 1839, after a decade of tours, the twins quit touring and settled near Mount Airy, North Carolina. They became American citizens, bought slaves, married local sisters, and fathered 21 children. We're getting ready to leave Round Peak Vineyard Harvest Host, and we're heading to our next Harvest Host, which is going to be about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours from here. We've got to do a fuel stop on the way. We're ready to, we're all packed up and almost ready to go. Another day on the road. We are at another Harvest Host. It's called the Botanist and Barrel. It's an eclectic little place. They specialize in ciders and wine, and they have a lot of plants around the property, blueberry bushes and strawberry plants and that kind of thing. And they have an outdoor pizza oven, and they're making pizza tonight. So we're going to spend the night here. It's a pretty nice little spot. Should be quiet enough for us. The only drawback is it is getting
hot here down in North Carolina. Right now it's 91 in the RV, and hopefully when the sun goes down it'll cool off quickly. But this is our last Harvest Host for a while. From here we go to Williamsburg RV Resort, which is a Thousand Trails park. So we get to spend 2 weeks there for free. And we'll have full hookups. Hopefully the power will be adequate to handle these temperatures. We have been in parks where that's not the case, but hopefully Williamsburg will be good. And I'll try to record some of the happenings here tonight. I think they might be having some entertainment here as well, so we'll record what we can and share it with you later.
Whenever we come into a new state, if it's convenient and we happen upon a visitor center, we'll stop. In this case, we just fueled up about a mile or two down the road and spotted this visitor center, so we pulled in. Gives me a chance to eat my lunch, and Louise likes to go in and find out what's going on in the area. She gets all kinds of information, and they're usually very helpful there. So this one's in Virginia, and we're only about 15-20 minutes away from our destination of Williamsburg RV Resort, which is a Thousand Trails resort. So we're looking forward to 2 weeks of full hookups. After a couple of days of no hookups at all, it's going to be nice to be able to be plugged in and take advantage of the AC, because right now it is 94 degrees outside, so it's been pretty warm, unseasonably warm. Get anything good?
Yes, iced tea and Diet Dr. Pepper. And they're always so welcoming at the welcome centers. We were really looking forward to our 2-week stay in Williamsburg, Virginia. There's a great deal to see and do in the area. However, while George was setting up for our stay, I was inside making calls and reading reviews in an effort to get Miles to see a vet as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, Miles was much sicker than we knew, so we had to say goodbye. Please enjoy these memories of our beloved dog. He will be missed, but he will never be forgotten.
drive, drive, drive.